great to be in another town in Iowa whose name I cannot pronounce. Osceola. As you know, I've been traveling all over Iowa. And I go to these towns. Madrid. No, it's Madrid. I go to another town. I'm a Western. Nevada. No, sir, it's Nevada. The winner is, and I had a robocall, you know those telephone calls that you call in? It's Macopica, but it's, what is it? Macopica. Here's the point of this. You're Iowa, you're the first caucus, I'll do whatever you want, I'll pronounce it. I want to thank the mayor for that introduction. I'm very happy to be here at this winery. I understand this winery, 100 co-owners, co-op, good jobs, beautiful here. I hope I get a taste of some of this wine, maybe after my speech. I know this is the home of casino, terrible casinos, Clark County. Mayor, thank you again. I want to just recognize all the big shots here. You know, when you're at 14%, you got to do things to move up. The board of directors, the director, John Broadbent. Where's John? John, thank you very much for letting us use your premises. I want to thank the county supervisor, Don Reesner. Where is Don? Don, thank you so much. The party secretary, Karen Keefe. Karen, thank you. Carol Waterman from the Central Committee. Thank you, Sarah. I also want you to know that I have been traveling all over Iowa. Now, the message I want to convey to you is that there are a lot of good candidates in this race. And the mayor mentioned that in his opening remarks. And what I believe I bring to the table is experience, I think the most experience of all the candidates, and the ability to bring change. What is important is that we elect somebody that not only talks about all the things that we need to do, whether it's healthcare, creating jobs, diplomacy, but actually has done it. I was just very proud recently to read that the North Koreans have said they're going to disable the nuclear weapons. Well, I was there 4 months ago in a bipartisan delegation, and we got the remains of 6 of our soldiers from North Korea from the Korean War. But we also got their commitment to disable their nuclear reactor, and it's moving very much in the right direction. In other words, we can't afford to have a president that doesn't know foreign policy. And I've been energy secretary. I'm going to talk to you about how we can become energy independent. And as a governor, you know, we elect governors in this country for president, 7 out of the last 8. Although this last one wasn't so good. But, you know, we're CEOs. We balance budgets. I balance 5 budgets. We've created over 80,000 jobs in my state. My state is economically the 6th fastest growing in the country. And we've got to move in the direction of a stronger economy for America's middle class. Now, I may not be the candidate with the most glamour or the most celebrity or the biggest rock star, although I'm working on that. I'm not the candidate with the most money, resources-wise. I'm not the candidate with the best political pedigree. You know, here I go to Sioux City yesterday, and I'm campaigning against one formidable Clinton, and now I face 2 formidable Clintons. And I was speaking to the president who I work for, very proud, and Senator Clinton. And so, just in summary, Senator Obama, a very good candidate. He is a candidate, he says, of change. Senator Clinton, of experience. With Bill Richardson, my message is you get both. You get change and experience. But I want to talk to you about the issues facing this country. And what I will do is I will shorten my stump speech. It's usually an hour and 15 minutes. But I'm going to reduce it to about an hour. I won't do that. It'll be about 12 minutes. And it will be on the 6 issues that I think are so important that we address as president. 6 issues, 5 that involve what I plan to do in these areas, and 6 which is basically how we have to return to an America of democracy and freedom and the rule of law that we've lost under this administration. So I'm going to go real quick, and I would hope in the Q's and A's that I'll able to fill in a lot of these issues that I may address very quickly. The first is our foreign policy. The fundamental issue in this campaign is Iraq, and I have the clearest position of all the candidates. I would withdraw all of our troops, every one of them, within 6 to 8 months. Every one. I would do that with a diplomatic plan. I was your UN ambassador, and 80% of my time was spent on Iraq, on weapons of mass destruction. I got 2 prisoners from Saddam Hussein and negotiated with him directly. I know the region. I believe that when we withdraw our forces, we use the leverage of that withdrawal to create a diplomatic plan, a political settlement that brings the 3 groups in Iraq together, the Sunni, the Shia, and the Kurds, and brings them into a coalition that involves a division of oil revenues, a possible partition, a sharing of power, an all-Muslim peacekeeping force, Turkey, Jordan, Egypt, headed by the United Nations, Iran and Syria participating as guarantors. And these are tough. These 2 countries are tough. But nobody in the region wants an implosion of Iraq. Nobody wants thousands of refugees streaming over. It's called diplomacy. It's called bringing people together. It's called not doing what we should have done around the world, and that is first negotiate and use diplomacy rather than our military force first. I would also say to you that our kids have become targets. Last 3 months, the bloodiest 3 months in a long time. Iraqis dying at twice the rate every day, over 66 per day since the surge started. Make no mistake, I believe this war is a mistake. We have to redress America to change tactics, change policies so that we can focus on the real threats to our country, which is the threats of international terrorism, Al-Qaeda. It is there. Secondly, weapons of mass destruction, nuclear proliferation, loose nuclear weapons with the terrorists, perhaps used in an American city, and energy independence and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Those are the 3 areas that I think are fundamental. The second issue that I want to talk about is education. Nobody talks about schools. Nobody talks about improving our education system. And it is important because we're 29th in the world when it comes to K through 12 science and math. The reason that should concern us is that's competitiveness. That is a European Union and China and India and other nations graduating more engineers than us and overtaking us in those crucial areas that involve technology and globalization. So what I would do is I would upgrade our schools, our K through 12 curriculum with science and math, emphasizing them, creating science and math academies, 100,000 new science and math teachers, more efforts to bring stronger percentage of better student scores in civics, in languages. But here's an idea that I have that has worked in New Mexico to upgrade our skills in science and math. And that is to have a strong arts in the schools program. Music, art, dancing, for young kids, that'll expand their mind. We also have to deal with our teachers. You know, our teachers are our most precious resource in this country, but they're mistreated. They're mistreated, they're underpaid. I would have a minimum wage for all our teachers at $40,000 starting. That would be the kind of cooperation that I would have as president, a federal program, instead of having unfunded mandates like No Child Left Behind. And here's what I would do with No Child Left Behind. I would scrap it, gone. It's a disaster. We need to find ways to test our kids better, not one-size-fits-all testing. No Child Left Behind hampers teacher training, English learning kids. It hampers gifted kids, disabled kids. And what we need to do is not have an educational system that puts up the bad schools on a list, cuts their funds. If a school is not doing well and needs improvement, you help that school. I also